The door creaked open at exactly 10:15 p.m., just like every night for the past 3 months. And there he was, Ethan Harrington, my boss, stepping into our cramped Brooklyn apartment with that effortless sophistication that made my heart stutter. He nodded vaguely in my direction, his sharp suit catching the hallway light, but his eyes slid right past me, locking onto the door at the end of the hall where my roommate, Chris, waited. I stood there, frozen in the kitchen, clutching a mug of cold coffee, wondering how much longer I could pretend this routine didn't carve me up inside. Living in New York City as a 25-year-old graphic designer wasn't the glamorous hustle I'd imagined when I moved here from a small town in Ohio. My job at Harrington Media, a mid-sized ad agency in Manhattan, paid just enough to cover my half of the rent in this overpriced walk-up. Ethan was the CEO, 42, divorced, and the kind of man who commanded rooms without raising his voice. Polished, articulate, with a quiet intensity that drew people in. I'd been his assistant for a year now, handling his schedules, fetching his dry cleaning, and occasionally sharing late-night brainstorming sessions that left me buzzing with unspoken admiration. But admiration had twisted into something deeper, something I hadn't admitted even to myself until these nightly visits started. Chris, my roommate, was the polar opposite. Loud, charismatic, a 28-year-old bartender with tattoos snaking up his arms and a laugh that filled the apartment like smoke. We'd met through a Craigslist ad 2 years ago, bonded over cheap beer and shared disdain for the city's dating scene. He was straight, or so I'd thought, always bringing home dates that fizzled out by morning. Then Ethan showed up one night, introduced vaguely as an old friend from work, and the visits became routine. Ethan would arrive, exchange a few words with me if I was in the living room, polite, distant chit-chat about the weather or a client pitch, then disappear into Chris's room. The door would close, and muffled voices would drift out, sometimes laughter, sometimes silence that stretched too long. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe they were collaborating on a side project. Ethan had mentioned investing in a bar once. But the way Ethan's face softened when he saw Chris, the subtle brush of hands as they passed in the hall, it gnawed at me. I was gay, out since college, but I'd kept my crush on Ethan buried under layers of professionalism. He was my boss, after all, and rumors swirled about his divorce from his ex-wife 5 years ago. Whispers of affairs, but nothing concrete. In our industry, being openly gay could still be a liability. Clients were conservative, board members judgmental. I respected that boundary, or tried to. One evening, after a grueling day at the office where Ethan had praised my redesign of a major campaign, I came home early. The apartment was quiet, but Chris's door was ajar. I heard Ethan's voice, low and urgent. "We can't keep this up forever, Chris. People are starting to notice." My stomach dropped. I backed away, heart pounding, and busied myself in the kitchen until Ethan emerged. His tie loosened, eyes avoiding mine as he muttered a goodbye. That night, I lay awake, piecing together the fragments. Stolen glances at work, Chris's sudden interest in media trends, the way Ethan's schedule always cleared after 10 p.m. The next morning, over breakfast, I confronted Chris casually. "So, what's up with you and Ethan? He comes over a lot." Chris shrugged, pouring cereal. "Just hanging out, man. He's cool. Helps with some business ideas for the bar." His eyes darted away, and I knew he was lying. The lie stung not just because of my feelings for Ethan, but because Chris was my friend. We'd shared everything. Heartbreaks, job woes, even my coming out story. If he was involved with Ethan, why hide it? Was it shame? Fear of judgment in our circle of friends, where straight guys like Chris were the norm, and anything else sparked awkward questions? As weeks passed, the tension built. At work, Ethan promoted me to junior creative director, a move that thrilled me but complicated everything. Now we spent more time together, strategy meetings, client dinners. His compliments felt charged. "Jamie, you have a real eye for this." I'd smile, my pulse racing, but then remember the nights he slipped past me like I was invisible. One night, after a company event, Ethan offered me a ride home. In the car, rain pattering on the windshield, I mustered courage. "You visit a lot. Everything okay with Chris?" He gripped the wheel tighter. "Chris is a good friend. That's all. The silence after was deafening. Back home, Chris was out, so I paced the apartment, anger bubbling. When Ethan arrived later, I blocked the hall. "Why do you come here every night? It's not just friendship, is it?" His face paled, but he stepped around me. "This isn't your business, Jamie." The rejection hit like a punch. I retreated to my room, tears stinging, questioning everything. My job, my friendship, my unrequited feelings. Society's expectations loomed large. Ethan, a powerful man, couldn't afford scandal. Chris, playing both sides? It felt like a betrayal of trust, sparking debates in my mind about identity, secrecy, and the cost of living authentically in a world that still judged. The promotion changed dynamics at work, but the nightly visits continued, each one a fresh wound. I'd hear them through the thin walls, conversations turning intimate, voices dropping to whispers. I started avoiding home, crashing on friends' couches or working late at the office. One such night, as I tinkered with ad layouts, Ethan appeared in the doorway. Burning the midnight oil? He sat across from me, sleeves rolled up, revealing a watch I'd admired before. We talked shop, ideas flowing easily, and for a moment it felt real, two equals connecting. "You're talented, Jamie," he said, his eyes meeting mine briefly. "Don't let anything distract you." But distraction was inevitable. The next day, a colleague pulled me aside. "Heard Ethan's been seen with some guy downtown. You know anything?" I feigned ignorance, but rumors spread like wildfire in our tight-knit agency. Whispers about Ethan's sexuality. His divorce revisited with new speculation. It fueled office politics. Some clients were old school, and a whiff of controversy could tank deals. I worried for him, but resentment grew. Why Chris? He was carefree, unattached, while I poured my soul into the job, into Ethan. Chris noticed my distance. One afternoon, as we grabbed coffee, he cornered me. "Dude, what's eating you? You've been ghosting." I hesitated, then spilled. "I know about you and Ethan." "Why lie?" His face hardened. "It's complicated. He's not out and I'm figuring things out." Figuring things out? Chris had always dated women, paraded them proudly. Was this experimentation? A phase? It felt dismissive, reducing Ethan's potential vulnerability to a casual fling. "You're using him," I accused. "Or he's using you to stay hidden." We argued, voices rising, drawing stares. Chris stormed off, leaving me with guilt and fury. That night, Ethan arrived earlier than usual. I was alone, nursing a beer. He paused in the doorway, sensing the shift. "Chris said you two fought." I nodded, words tumbling out. "How long has this been going on? And why him?" Ethan's composure cracked. "Jamie, it's not what you think." But it was. He confessed they met at a bar months ago. Sparks flew, but Ethan insisted on secrecy. My career, my family, they wouldn't understand. His ex-wife knew, but his conservative parents, board members, the media, it was a minefield. Chris agreed to the terms, but now it strained everyone. I pushed. "Do you even care about him? Or is this just convenient?" Ethan's eyes flashed. "You have no idea what it's like, hiding who you are." I did, though, from small-town bullying to city microaggressions. But my openness came at a cost. I'd lost friends, faced rejection. Ethan's choice to stay closeted sparked internal conflict. Was it cowardice or survival? Society demanded authenticity but punished it. Our argument escalated, touching on broader issues, workplace discrimination, the pressure on LGBTQ+ professionals to conform. Ethan left abruptly, and Chris returned later, accusing me of jealousy. "You like him, don't you?" I admitted it, the truth hanging heavy. The fallout rippled. At work, Ethan grew distant, assigning me to secondary projects. Rumors intensified. An anonymous tip to a gossip blog hinted at executive indiscretions. Clients wavered. Stocks dipped slightly. I felt responsible, torn between loyalty and hurt. Friends weighed in. Some sided with Ethan, saying coming out wasn't mandatory. Others called it hypocritical in progressive New York. Chris moved out temporarily, crashing with a buddy, leaving the apartment echoing with absence. One weekend, I attended a pride event, surrounded by celebration, but it highlighted my isolation. A speaker discussed internalized homophobia, the societal chains that kept people closeted. It resonated, making me question my judgment. Was I projecting my frustrations onto them? Back home, I found Ethan waiting. "We need to talk." He revealed Chris ended things, overwhelmed by the secrecy. "I never meant to hurt you, Jamie." His vulnerability cracked my defenses. We talked for hours, about his fears, my feelings, the unfairness of it all. For the first time, his eyes lingered on me, sparking hope amid the chaos. With Chris gone, the apartment felt like a ghost town, but Ethan's visits shifted, now sporadic and directed at me. He'd text first, "Mind if I come over? Need to discuss that campaign." But discussions veered personal. One night, over takeout, he opened up about his marriage. "It was a cover, Jamie. I loved her as a friend, but it wasn't real." The divorce had been amicable, but the emotional toll lingered. I shared my own stories, coming out to unsupportive parents, navigating dating apps rife with judgment. Our conversations peeled back layers, revealing shared wounds from a society that tokenized diversity but shunned complexity. Yet doubt crept in. Was this rebound? Pity? At work, tension mounted as the gossip blog post gained traction. Board members called emergency meetings. Ethan defended his privacy, but cracks showed. A major client pulled out, citing instability. Fingers pointed subtly at me. Had I leaked something in anger? I hadn't, but paranoia set in. Friends divided. Some urged me to pursue Ethan, calling it destiny. Others warned of power imbalances, ethical dilemmas in boss-employee romance. Chris returned briefly to collect things, our encounter explosive. "You stole him," he accused. "I didn't steal anyone," I retorted. "You were playing games." He admitted bisexuality, unexplored until Ethan, but the secrecy suffocated him. "Society labels you straight or gay, no in-between." His words sparked debate in my mind. Was fluidity accepted, or just another controversy? Chris left for good, severing our friendship, a loss that stung deeply. Ethan and I grew closer, stolen moments at work fueling rumors. One evening, he kissed me in the apartment, tentative, charged. "This could ruin everything," he whispered. Could. HR policies against fraternization, public scrutiny. But the connection felt authentic, born from shared pain. We navigated carefully, but external pressures mounted. His parents visited, oblivious conservatives from Texas, praising his bachelor life. Hiding me felt like regression, echoing his past. A turning point came at an industry gala. Ethan attended solo, but paparazzi hounded him about the rumors. He deflected gracefully, but later confessed the strain. "I can't do this halfway." I pushed back. "Then don't. Come out or let me go." The ultimatum hung, forcing choices. Society's gaze intensified. Social media buzzed with speculation. Some supportive, others vicious. Trolls attacked, dredging up old divorce dirt, labeling him a fraud. In the midst of it, I faced my own backlash. Colleagues whispered, questioning my promotion's merit. "Sleeping your way up?" one sneered. It ignited fury, reducing my talent to scandal. I confronted Ethan. "This isn't just your secret. It's affecting me." He agreed, proposing we pause. But pause felt like rejection, amplifying internal conflict. Was love worth the societal fallout? High-profile coming-outs inspired, but the personal cost, family estrangement, career hits was real. As drama peaked, Ethan scheduled a press conference. Nerves frayed, we argued the night before. "What if they reject you?" I asked. "Then I rebuild," he said. His resolve stirred admiration, but fear lingered. The conference loomed, a potential turning point or catastrophe. The press conference unfolded in Harrington Media's sleek boardroom, cameras flashing as Ethan stood at the podium. "I've always valued privacy," he began, voice steady. "But recent rumors have forced my hand. Yes, I'm gay. I've been for years, but fear kept me silent." Gasps rippled. Questions erupted. He handled them with grace, addressing the divorce, his journey. No mention of Chris or me, protecting us. Social media exploded. Support from allies, backlash from detractors. Clients divided. Some applauded authenticity, others withdrew. Backlash hit hard. Ethan's parents called, disowning him temporarily. "We raised you better," his father barked. Board members pushed for resignation, citing distraction. Protests formed outside the office, conservative groups decrying agenda pushing. Yet LGBTQ+ organizations rallied, offering support. The duality showcased society's fractures, progress amid prejudice. For me, vindication mixed with chaos. Colleagues apologized, but trust eroded. Ethan and I met secretly, his eyes now fully on me. "You pushed me to this," he said, not accusingly. "And I'm grateful." Our relationship deepened, but challenges persisted. Dating my boss sparked ethics debates, power dynamics, favoritism accusations. I considered quitting, but Ethan argued, "We've earned this." Chris resurfaced via text. "Saw the news. Proud of him. Sorry for everything." Reconciliation tentative, we met for coffee. He admitted jealousy, confusion over his identity. Society doesn't make it easy for bi guys. Everyone thinks it's a phase. His vulnerability humanized him, sparking empathy. We parted as uneasy allies, highlighting fluidity's controversies. As weeks passed, Ethan's career rebounded. A viral op-ed he wrote about corporate inclusivity drew praise, attracting progressive clients. But personal tolls lingered: sleepless nights, therapy sessions. Our relationship faced scrutiny. Tabloids speculated, friends questioned motives. "Is he using you for image rehab?" one asked. Planted seeds of doubt, leading to arguments. "Do you regret coming out?" I once snapped. "Never," he replied. But strain showed. A major conflict arose when a former client sued, alleging breach due to personal distractions. The lawsuit dragged, exposing emails, forcing transparency. During depositions, our relationship surfaced, igniting media frenzy. Headlines screamed, "CEO's office romance sparks scandal." Protests escalated, some violent, eggs thrown at our building. It underscored societal divides, acceptance for some, vitriol for others. Through it, Ethan's sophistication shone, handling crises with poise. But vulnerability emerged in quiet moments. "Was it worth it?" he'd ask. My answer varied, torn between love and exhaustion. Highs included our first public date, hand in hand at a charity event, applause drowning out boos. Lows, anonymous threats, straining our bond. As the lawsuit settled out of court, relief washed over. But scars remained, prompting reflection on choices, emotions, society's role in personal lives. With the dust settling, Ethan and I carved a new normal. He stepped down as CEO, starting a consultancy focused on inclusive marketing, turning controversy into purpose. I joined as partner, our professional ties now equal. Public perception shifted. We became reluctant icons, invited to panels on LGBTQ+ rights in business. But fame chafed. Every outing photographed, judgments constant. Chris fully embraced his bisexuality, dating openly, crediting our fallout for his growth. We rebuilt friendships slowly, occasional dinners where we debate. Was secrecy ever justified? Opinions clashed, mirroring broader societal discourse. Ethan's family thawed. His mother reached out, apologies laced with awkward questions. Reconciliation was messy, highlighting generational gaps in acceptance. Our relationship endured, deepened by trials. Mornings in our new apartment, Ethan's old one traded for simplicity, felt earned. His eyes, once averted, now held mine with unwavering warmth. Yet, echoes of pain lingered. The cost of authenticity, the weight of public gaze. Friends' stories amplified this, colleagues facing discrimination, youth struggling with identity. One evening, as we walked Brooklyn streets, Ethan reflected, "I visited every night chasing connection, but blindness cost me sight of what was there. I nodded, grateful for the journey, but aware of its controversies. Society evolved, but slowly, laws protected, yet hearts lagged. In the end, our story wasn't tidy. It was human, fraught with choices that sparked debate. Was it right for Ethan to stay closeted as long as he did, prioritizing career over truth?